In-depth analysis of Shoe Dog, from a runner's dream to a global sports empire. 1. The runner's dream, the spark of entrepreneurship. Can a pair of running shoes truly change someone's destiny? In 1962, 24-year-old Phil Knight wrote a paper at Stanford Business School, proposing a crazy idea to challenge German sneaker giant Adidas with low-cost Japanese running shoes. This seemingly far-fetched notion became the starting point for the Nike empire. Shoe Dog is Phil Knight's memoir, chronicling his journey from an ordinary runner to the founder of a global sports brand. This book is not just a story of entrepreneurship but a tale of dreams, adventure, and perseverance, revealing how personal conviction can birth a brand. Phil Knight's entrepreneurial spark came from his love for running. While at the University of Oregon, he was a member of the track team, deeply influenced by legendary coach Bill Bowerman. Bowerman was not only a coach but also a shoemaker, constantly experimenting to improve running shoes for better athletic performance. In Shoe Dog, Knight recalls how Bowerman once used a waffle iron to create shoe sole patterns, aiming to reduce weight and enhance grip. This obsession with detail ignited Knight's entrepreneurial fire. He wrote, "Running is not just a sport, it's a way of life." This passion led him to ponder how to bring better running shoes to more people. In 1962, Knight embarked on a world tour to find his life's purpose. In Japan, he stumbled upon Onitsuka's tiger running shoes, later known as Asics. These shoes were high quality, affordable, and largely unknown in the US. Knight saw a business opportunity and secured a distribution deal with Onitsuka under the name Blue Ribbon Sports. The name was a spur-of-the-moment choice, and with confidence and a bit of luck, he took his first entrepreneurial step. He admitted in the book, "I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew what I wanted to do." This vague yet resolute belief became the driving force behind his venture. Knight's conviction was not just about running but tied to his pursuit of freedom. In 1960s America, running was not yet a mainstream activity, often seen as training for professional athletes. Knight, however, saw running as a way to liberate oneself, breaking free from daily constraints. During college, he often ran alone, feeling the freedom of the wind on his face, which inspired him to spread running culture to a broader audience. His crazy idea was not just a business plan but a redefinition of a lifestyle. He hoped better running shoes would let everyone experience the joy of running, finding inner peace and strength. This deep understanding of running culture gave him confidence in negotiating with Onitsuka. Despite language barriers and cultural differences, his passion persuaded them, showcasing an entrepreneur's infectious energy. Similarly, Patagonia founder Yvon Chouinard infused the spirit of climbing into his brand, creating a benchmark for eco-conscious outdoor culture. Knight's running philosophy and Chouinard's climbing ethos both stemmed from a love for a lifestyle, not just commercial motives. This passion gave Knight's entrepreneurial journey a soul, planting the seeds for Nike's brand culture. To understand Knight's adventurous spirit, consider Steve Jobs. In 1976, Jobs and Steve Wozniak assembled the first Apple computer in a garage, driven by passion for technology and intuition about the future, launching Apple's legendary journey. Knight and Jobs shared a knack for turning personal interests into business opportunities, daring to take the first step into the unknown. Knight's crazy idea wasn't whimsical but rooted in his insight into running culture. He believed running was more than a sport, it was an expression of freedom and individuality. This conviction helped him find an extraordinary starting point in an ordinary life. His story teaches us that the spark of entrepreneurship often comes from a simple desire, and with action, it can ignite the possibility of change. 2. The birth of Blue Ribbon Sports. Starting from scratch in 1964, Knight partnered with Bowerman to found Blue Ribbon Sports, distributing Onitsuka Tiger running shoes. This was a classic garage startup story, no office, no employees, just Knight starting from his father's garage with $500 in seed money. Their goal was simple: to bring better shoes to American runners. But reality was far harsher than imagined, and the early days were filled with uncertainty. Knight's first trip to Japan was an adventure. Posing as Blue Ribbon Sports, he negotiated with Onitsuka, securing the deal with confidence and a touch of luck. Back in the US, he stuffed shoes in a backpack, pitching to running enthusiasts and college track teams. He described in Shoe Dog, "I drove around, knocking on coaches' doors like a traveling salesman." This hands-on approach showcased Knight's resilience as an entrepreneur. Selling was tough but brought him closer to the market. He didn't just sell products. He educated consumers, as Japanese running shoes were largely unknown in the US at the time. At track meets in Oregon, he showcased the lightweight and durable Tiger shoes, patiently answering questions. This face-to-face interaction gave him valuable market insights. He learned runners cared less about price and more about comfort and foot protection. This insight guided his collaboration with Bowerman, always prioritizing user needs. Knight also organized small running events on college campuses, giving away shoes to attract young runners. This grassroots promotion mirrors modern startup social media marketing, like Albert's free try-on campaigns to build buzz. Knight's efforts helped Blue Ribbon Sports gain traction in running circles, revealing that a brand sells not just products but a lifestyle. His hands-on approach solved sales challenges and laid the foundation for Nike's brand culture. Beyond picky customers, Knight faced logistical and inventory pressures. Once, lacking warehouse space, he stored shoes in a friend's living room, sparking plenty of laughs. Bowerman handled technical support, dissecting Tiger shoes and suggesting improvements like lighter weight and better grip. His experimental spirit injected innovation into Blue Ribbon Sports. For instance, Bowerman tried combining rubber and leather for soles, an idea that later inspired Nike's iconic designs. He tested shoes during training, gathering direct feedback from athletes to ensure products met real needs. Their partnership was clear. Knight tackled the market, Bowerman focused on R&D, forming a complementary entrepreneurial duo. Early challenges went beyond technology. Cash flow issues kept Knight on edge. He recalled that every order was like betting on the table. Sales barely covered costs, leaving no room for profit. He borrowed from friends to keep operations afloat under immense psychological strain. Similar struggles are common among entrepreneurs, like Airbnb's Brian Chesky, who relied on credit card debt and sold cereal to fund the company. Knight and Chesky's stories show that early entrepreneurship is about survival, not profit. Onitsuka doubted Blue Ribbon Sports' scale and capability, repeatedly threatening to end the partnership. Knight maintained the relationship through frequent communication and personal visits. His persistence stemmed from his belief in running culture as a symbol of freedom. This conviction gave him direction during crises but also brought immense psychological challenges. In the early days, he often lay awake, fearing failure would let down his team and family. He recounted driving to the coast alone, staring at the horizon to find a way forward. This loneliness resonates with many entrepreneurs, like Spanx founder Sarah Blakely, who faced breakdowns but persevered through belief. Knight faced challenges head-on, optimizing operations by reducing inventory and shortening supply cycles to ease financial strain. He negotiated with local banks, using sales data to prove Blue Ribbon Sports' potential and secure small loans. These efforts, though not fully resolving issues, bought him breathing room. He also focused on team morale, regularly sharing the company vision to inspire collective resilience. His leadership wasn't top-down. Like a runner, he worked alongside his team. This all-in-it-together culture became the core of Nike's team spirit. Knight's persistence helped him overcome crises and taught him to find balance in uncertainty, keeping the momentum forward. This belief sustained him through resource-scarce days, setting the stage for Blue Ribbon Sports' future. The birth of Blue Ribbon Sports marked Knight's transformation from runner to businessman. His story teaches us that startups often begin with scarce resources, but belief and action can bridge any gap. With a runner's endurance, Knight took his first entrepreneurial step. 3. Crises and resilience. The struggle with cash flow. The entrepreneurial path is never smooth. From the late 1960s to early 1970s, Blue Ribbon Sports faced multiple existential crises, especially threats to its cash flow. Knight admitted in Shoe Dog, "We were always on the brink of bankruptcy." During this period, he battled not only external competition but also internal trust issues, showcasing an entrepreneur's resilience and wisdom. Cash shortages were Blue Ribbon Sports' biggest hurdle. Knight's business model relied on high turnover, using sales revenue to pay for inventory and then restocking. But as the running shoe market grew, inventory demand surged, and banks hesitated to lend to a small company. Knight recalled nearly being sued by Onitsuka for unpaid bills. He scrambled to borrow money, even from his father, under immense pressure. He wrote, "Every pair sold was a gamble on the next shipment's payment." This high-risk model mirrors Elon Musk's predicament during Tesla's 2008 financial crisis, when he nearly went broke but saved the company with a last-ditch investment. Knight and Musk both relied on extreme perseverance to survive. Beyond finances, Onitsuka's trust issues put Knight on thin ice. In 1971, Onitsuka discovered Blue Ribbon Sports was developing its own brand and threatened to end the partnership. Knight made a bold move, launching the Nike brand, inspired by the Greek goddess of victory, Nike. This was a risky decision. Without a stable supplier, he had to find new manufacturers while facing Adidas' fierce competition. But he believed his own brand could truly embody the soul of running culture. He partnered with Japan's Nisho factory to solve production issues and expanded the sales network by recruiting regional distributors like Alan Harper. Alan Harper, a Boston running enthusiast, contacted Knight, eager to promote Nike shoes on the East Coast. His involvement extended Nike's reach from the West Coast to nationwide, easing financial pressures. Harper wasn't a professional salesman but was driven by his love for running. He set up stalls at the Boston Marathon, showcasing Nike's lightweight and grippy shoes. His story recalls Amazon's early employees, who compensated for limited resources with passion and belief. Knight's hiring philosophy was to find people who loved running, not just profit-driven business people. This approach laid the foundation for Nike's early expansion. Knight also faced legal challenges. In 1973, Onitsuka sued Blue Ribbon Sports for breach of contract. Knight won the lawsuit with honesty and evidence, but the ordeal drained his energy. He wrote, "I felt like I was running a marathon with no finish line." This captures the loneliness and pressure of entrepreneurship. To navigate crises, Knight built a core team, including Jeff Johnson, the first full-time employee, who professionalized Nike's East Coast sales. Crises taught Knight to seize opportunities in adversity. He not only survived financial and trust challenges but also propelled Nike into a new era with its own brand. His story shows that entrepreneurship is as much a psychological endurance test as a business challenge. These struggles forged Nike's brand soul. 4. The leap forward. Signing Michael Jordan in 1984, Nike reached a turning point by signing Michael Jordan. This wasn't just a business deal but the key to Nike's rise from a regional player to a global giant. Knight recalled in Shoe Dog, "Jordan was our all-in bet." This decision reflected Knight's business intuition and cultural insight. In the early 1980s, Nike had gained a foothold in the US running shoe market but was still a little brother to Adidas and Converse. Knight saw that the running shoe market needed a new story, and basketball shoes were the next big thing. In 1984, Michael Jordan, an NBA rookie, caught Knight's eye with his dunks and charisma. Nike's team designed the Air Jordan line, incorporating air cushion technology to break the mold of traditional basketball shoes. Designer Tinker Hatfield recalled Jordan's high demands for color and comfort, requiring multiple iterations to meet his expectations. Signing Jordan wasn't easy. He initially leaned toward Adidas, the dominant player in basketball shoes. Nike's team won him over with a bold contract, $5 million over 5 years, plus a share of sales. This high-stakes investment was considered crazy at the time, but Knight believed in Jordan's potential. He wrote, "Jordan wasn't just a player, he was a phenomenon." To seal the deal, Nike involved Jordan's parents in negotiations, showing a family-oriented sincerity. Ultimately, Jordan chose Nike, launching a legendary partnership. The Air Jordan launch created a frenzy. In 1985, the Air Jordan 1 was fined by the NBA for violating dress code rules, and Nike capitalized on this with a Ban Shoe campaign, captivating young consumers. In its first year, Air Jordan generated $130 million in sales, far exceeding expectations. Jordan's airness image merged with Nike's innovative spirit, crafting a transcend-yourself brand narrative. In 1986, Air Jordan 2 refined the design, incorporating Italian craftsmanship to elevate the brand's premium feel. A similar story unfolded with Apple's 2007 iPhone launch, where Steve Jobs bet on disruptive design and user experience to transform the smartphone industry. Both Knight and Jobs excelled at using star power to reshape brand image. Jordan's success not only boosted Nike's revenue but tied the brand to youth and rebellion, opening global markets. The Jordan signing marked Nike's shift from product-driven to culture-driven. Jordan was more than an athlete. He was a cultural icon. His story inspired countless youths, making Nike synonymous with dreams. This phase taught Knight how to leverage culture for business, cementing Nike's global influence. Shaping brand culture, Just Do It. In 1988, Nike launched the Just Do It slogan, marking the pinnacle of its brand culture. This wasn't just a marketing tagline, but an embodiment of Nike's take on sports and life. Knight wrote in Shoe Dog, "Just do it was our promise to runners and a reminder to ourselves." How did this slogan evolve from a spark of inspiration into a global cultural symbol? The Just Do It idea came from ad agency Whedon plus Kennedy. Creative director Dan Whedon drew inspiration from criminal Gary Gilmore's last words, "Let's do it," adapting it to Just Do It to convey courage, action, and breakthrough. Whedon recalled Knight's brief, simple, direct, and inspiring. The slogan perfectly captured Nike's core, encouraging everyone to push their limits, athlete or not. Nike's brand culture wasn't built overnight. Through the 1980s, Nike tied itself to victory by signing athletes, sponsoring events, and innovating designs. In 1987, the Air Max series debuted visible air cushions, reinforcing Nike's innovative image. These efforts paved the way for Just Do It. After the 1988 campaign, Nike's sales soared from $900 million to $2 billion by 1990, with its influence sweeping the globe. Ads featuring runners, basketball players, and everyday people highlighted the universality of sports, making Just Do It a motivational mantra beyond athletics. A parallel case is Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign in 2011, printing names on bottles to spark social media buzz. Both Nike and Coca-Cola used simple yet profound cultural symbols to ignite emotional resonance. For example, a 1990 Nike ad showed an 80-year-old running at dawn, with the voiceover saying, "Just do it," inspiring viewers by showing age is no barrier. Nike's brand culture embraced diversity. In the 1990s, Nike signed female athletes like tennis star Serena Williams, whose strength and personality reinforced the "everyone can be a hero" message. Nike also sponsored the Paralympics, launching shoes for people with disabilities, showcasing social responsibility. This inclusivity transformed Nike from a sneaker brand to a lifestyle brand, infiltrating street culture and fashion. Nike's shift wasn't accidental but a result of Knight's keen sense of cultural trends. In the 1990s, street culture and hip-hop swept the US, with youth seeking personalized expression. Knight saw Nike couldn't just be a sports brand. It needed to embrace pop culture. He encouraged collaborations with fashion, launching limited edition shoes like the Air Force One series with street artists, blending graffiti and bold colors to become youth favorites. Nike signed rappers like MC Hammer in the 1990s, whose music videos featured Nike shoes, expanding the brand's non-sport influence. This cross-industry strategy mirrors Apple's iPod integration with music culture. Knight also pushed Nike into skateboarding, launching the Nike Somebody line in the late 1990s, designed for durability and flexibility. These efforts made Nike a staple in street fashion. Nike also targeted the women's market, launching running shoes and apparel emphasizing comfort and style. In 1995, Nike collaborated with female runner Joan Benoit Samuelson to design long-distance shoes, further expanding its market. These moves made Just Do It not just for athletes but a rallying cry for self-expression. Just Do It was more than a marketing triumph. It was Knight's continuation of his running philosophy, action over hesitation, process over outcome. This phase saw Nike shift from product-driven to culture-driven, securing its enduring vitality. 6. The rise of a global empire, IPO and expansion. In 1980, Nike went public on NASDAQ, marking its evolution from a startup to a global corporation. Knight recalled in Shoe Dog, feeling both thrilled and uneasy on listing day. "We finally had funds, but we lost some freedom." This phase saw Nike cement its status as a sports empire through global strategies and operational efficiency. The IPO raised $20 million, fueling production and marketing expansion. Knight optimized the supply chain, shifting from Japanese to Korean and Taiwanese factories to cut costs and boost efficiency. From 1976's $14 million, Nike's annual revenue grew to $270 million by 1980, showcasing remarkable growth. Knight invested heavily in R&D, launching innovations like the 1995 Air Zoom technology, designed for long-distance runners to enhance cushioning and stability. Globalization was key to Nike's rise. In the 1980s, Nike entered Europe and Asia, signing stars like Brazilian footballer Ronaldo to break into the soccer shoe market. In 1996, Nike's major sponsorship of the Atlanta Olympics boosted brand visibility. By 2000, global revenue exceeded $9 billion, surpassing Adidas to become the industry leader. Knight reflected, "We weren't selling shoes, we were selling a lifestyle." This global vision transformed Nike from an American brand into a worldwide symbol. Teamwork fueled Nike's success. Knight built a team of mavericks, like designer Tinker Hatfield, who created iconic Air Jordan and Air Max designs. Knight wrote, "I never felt like the boss. I was just part of the team." This decentralized management style echoed Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' two-pizza rule, fostering small, creative teams. For example, Nike's 1,990 Seconds Bo Knows campaign, featuring football star Bo Jackson, extended the brand into multiple sports. Globalization brought challenges. In the 1990s, Nike faced backlash over labor conditions in Asian factories, with media exposing low wages and poor environments. Knight acted swiftly, establishing a supplier code of conduct, improving factory conditions, and releasing transparency reports. This crisis management showcased his leadership responsibility. He reflected, "We made mistakes, but we learned to listen." This experience made Nike an industry leader in social responsibility. Nike's rise was not just commercial success, but a triumph of cultural export. Its logo and "Just Do It" became global symbols, inspiring countless dreamers. In this phase, Knight, with a runner's vision, led Nike to conquer the world. 7. Never stop. Phil Knight's life philosophy. At the end of Shoe Dog, Knight reflects on his journey, "I just didn't want to stop." This simple statement encapsulates his life philosophy, relentless pursuit. Nike's success is not just a business miracle but a reflection of Knight's deep insights into running, dreams, and life. Knight's running philosophy runs throughout. He likened entrepreneurship to a marathon. It's not about who's fastest but who endures to the end. He wrote, "Life is a long race. You must keep moving even when exhausted." This philosophy shaped Nike's brand spirit and inspired many entrepreneurs. For example, Starbucks founder Howard Schultz, facing expansion setbacks, revived the brand by returning to its coffee culture, mirroring Knight's perseverance. Knight also emphasized the power of team and culture. He believed Nike's success came from a group of mavericks, not his efforts alone. He wrote, "Nike isn't my company. It belongs to everyone who believes in it." This humility and inclusivity gave Nike its soul. For instance, Nike's employee culture encourages innovation, with an annual Innovation Day for designers and engineers to pitch ideas. This culture keeps Nike creatively vibrant. Knight also embraced failure. He noted in Shoe Dog that every Nike success was paired with setbacks. For example, the 1970s Cortez shoe was recalled for quality issues, but the team quickly improved it, launching a more popular version. Knight saw failure as the cost of growth, like a runner adjusting stride in a long race. This aligns with Silicon Valley's fail fast ethos, as Google's Larry Page encouraged teams to fail faster to accelerate innovation. For everyday people, Knight's philosophy is inspiring. Whether facing career setbacks or life challenges, "Just Do It" reminds us that action is the only way to break through fog. Knight's story shows that success doesn't need a perfect start, just a heart that never stops. His running philosophy not only shaped Nike but also lights the way for anyone chasing dreams. Shoe Dog is more than an entrepreneurial saga. It's a mirror reflecting dreams. With a runner's stride, Knight measured the distance from a garage to a global empire. His story inspires us. No matter the starting point, taking the first step makes dreams possible.